Hello everyone. In this video, I'm actually going to be trying out a new version of the screen recording app that I've been using. It's also for Windows too now. It's called Voco Screen NG with the new version. If you're looking for something like that, you might want to try it out. I like the previous version. I'm now trying this new version. I've set some things up. They don't have some of the options that it used to have, like using AAC audio. So I chose FLAC, and I've been messing with some of the settings. So hopefully this goes off without a hitch here, because you are now my guinea pigs. I just messed with it quickly, and I'm going to try it. So hopefully everything goes off without a hitch. Anyway, in this video, we're going to be taking a look here at an article that's from Salon. Basically, it looks like Xi Jinping has his little egg roll up their asses and using it to control them like a bunch of puppets, because they are such propagandists, because they're such deranged Trump idiots. That they're willing to basically push the CCP's bullshit. Anyway, this is written by Heather Digby Parton, and was published on May 1st. Trump's China syndrome. His latest desperate re-election strategy won't end well. Trump now hopes to salvage his election chances with random China bashing. We should all fear the blowback. So, hold on a second. Holding China responsible and, pointing out that because of what they did, this became a global pandemic, when it originated there, is somehow China bashing? I'm sorry, but if you do something wrong, you should be called out for it. That's not China bashing. That's putting the blame where it freaking belongs. Heather. The last couple weeks have obviously been hard for President Trump. His public mood has been even more volatile than usual. Come on. What with being humiliated for showing his monumental ignorance on national television when he tasked his government scientists with studying the possibility of injecting disinfectants into the human body to clean the lungs, and then finding out that his fantastic miracle cure, hydroxychloroquine, appears to make people worse rather than better. It has been a rough time. Now, this is how dishonest they are. Okay. We have a situation here where they are literally twisting the truth disgustingly here, in a disgusting manner. I mean, it's vile. All right. Because there are actually, Trump never said to inject people with disinfectant. All right. And there is actually a treatment where you inhale what could be considered that there's been tried to be silenced, that actually supposed to be like a lung therapy. It's kind of like the idea of when you go in and they have you, if you have bronchitis or something, have you take one of those inhaler thingies hooked up to the oxygen. Same type of principle. Okay. And they try to make it sound like that's a bad thing. Or the fact of taking UV treatment, which is not a new thing. They've taken blood out of people, treated it with UV, and injected it. It works with hepatitis and other things. It decreases viral load. So you're trying to make it sound like, he talked out his ass, and there are actual things that, show that he hasn't. And you idiots at YouTube and other platforms, Facebook and that, tried to silence this shit because it vindicated him. And this idea of the hydroxychloroquine, you've got one study from Brazil where they gave more than the recommended dose to push that bullshit. You are a vile, disgusting person, Heather, but I wouldn't expect anything less with you working at Salon. Okay. Why would I expect anything less? It's so funny how they twist shit. This is why they don't want him talking, because then people come out and defend him and back him up and show the examples like the UV and the breathing thing there. But where you inhale something. I mean, come on now. And then they hide the fact that with the hydroxychloroquine, they were giving more than the recommended dose. But whatever. His White House Wu flu rallies have been canceled for the time being, cooler heads having eventually persuaded Trump that they were doing him more harm than good. Well, actually, no. I mean, he probably got fed up with you idiots. And they're like, you're baiting them. You're just feeding the fire. And the thing is, wouldn't that make him the person taking the higher ground if that was the case? Huh. So of course you're going to try to twist something like that. Now he's going back to his usual short pool sprays and semi-formal events with visitors, where he takes a few questions until some staffers scream at the top of their lungs for the press to get out of the room immediately. See, now they're trying to portray that like they're trying to shut him up. Basically, he's done talking, and they're saying, get the fuck out. And they're now trying to portray it like they're trying to save Trump. If Trump literally will talk as long as he fucking wants. They can't shut him up. And they're trying to make it sound like these people are able to shut him up and shoo the people out. That makes absolutely no sense. You can't have it both ways. It's fucking ridiculous that they try to push this shit. The hope, obviously, is that he will get in less trouble the less he's exposed to hard questions. Uh-huh. It doesn't really help. He's definitely brittle and out of sorts, resorting to the kind of magical thinking he was using back in January or February when he was living in denial about the approaching catastrophe. Oh, you mean back when you assholes were pushing this wasn't a serious fucking thing, that it was just a flu, bro? All right, when everyone was saying that for the most part, go fuck yourself, you dishonest piece of shit. Because CNN at that time was pushing the fucking same fucking bullshit. You had, back then, January, didn't you have, that's right, Democrat fucking members of Congress going, oh yeah, come to Chinatown, have dinner, do this. You had de Blasio saying, go down to the Chinese New Moon, what was it, the festival, New Moon or something Moon Festival, the Lunar New Year Festival. Where a bunch of people just flew in from China. Yeah. Huh. How convenient you leave that out. And, of course, some blue check mark. Those who remember February are condemned to repeat it. Yeah, like you assholes who, deny that you guys said, it's just a flu, bro. Whatever. You gotta love that with that tweet. Anyway, Trump is also having a hard time dealing with the numbers. You recall that just a month ago, out of the blue, Trump started talking about lifting the federal Wu flu guidelines by Easter and filling the pews because someone had whispered to him that the cure is worse than the disease. The cure is worse than the disease, especially with something that's panning out once you take into account antibody tests and everything else to be far less fatal than, the flu. But because now you're trying to exploit a crisis, this is the end all be all. It makes Ebola and fucking the Black Plague and other diseases look, like a fucking joke in comparison the way you're pushing shit. I mean, I look at how these people fearmonger and how fucked in the head how fucked in the head of a situation is created with people. I mean, they don't know up, down, left, right. They're just listening to the fucking bullshit. It's ridiculous at this point. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is a serious thing, but they're milking it for maximum effect. Health experts rushed to show him models that showed millions of possible deaths if everyone just went back to normal, as he seemed to be suggesting. Actually wrong. Those models you're talking about, I believe and I covered this, if memory serves, they actually showed that even if we did everything fucking perfect, we were going to see millions of deaths, you dishonest piece of shit. Wow! I love how the goalpost keeps fucking moving. Jesus H. Christ, you people are fucking pathetic. You said even if you people were pushing the act Wu flu now, replace the COV, you know what, but replace it with this, actnow.org, okay? If you go, it was their models that said even if we handled the curve, there were going to be millions of people dead. What the fuck are you talking about? And when that didn't happen, and when the fact that we've had far less deaths, you people, no, if we do perfect, we're going to have 300,000 dead, okay? And you were shooting for the fucking stars with that one, too. It was 2 or 300,000 actually. But yeah, you people are pathetic. So he backed off and agreed to extend lockdown guidelines until the end of April. At the time, he made it pretty clear that if we were below the then proposed estimate of 120,000 deaths, wrong. It was 200,000 to 300,000. Kiss my ass, you fucking revisionist piece of shit. He planned to take a victory lap, and he should take a victory lap because you said 200,000 to 300,000. All you friggin' pundits and the fear mongering people going, this is the worst thing out there. You know, these supposed experts. Come on now, give me a break. This is so freaking pathetic. They change history. They literally change recent history that people can fucking remember. And they think they can get away with it. Especially in the age of the internet. This is not, 40 years ago when all you had was newspapers and television and radio, for the most part, to consume your fucking news and information from. Besides a library. Then you might have been able to get away with something like this. Now, not so much. Since then, he's gotten more specific and a bit overconfident, and predicted that the total death toll would be likely between 50 and 60,000. We passed that number this week, with no particular indication that an end is near. Oh, wait a minute. Ho, 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 ho. Fuck you, you sleazy, dishonest piece of shit. Now, this is funny. He said, if there was less than 120,000 deaths, he planned to take a victory lap, according to them, which he never said he would take a victory lap. Okay. That's their way of framing things to make him look like a fucking scumbag. Now, there were, the death toll would be between 50 and 60,000. We just passed that number this week. Okay. We literally, at the end of the month, hit 50 to 60,000. And this is with states fucking claiming people died of the Wu flu that fucking didn't to pad their fucking numbers to get more federal fucking money like New York has done. Okay, go check out the Project Veritas video where you have morticians, all right, talking about how full of shit all of the supposed deaths are. I mean, it's ridiculous. They're like, I ain't buying all these people that they're claiming died from it. Look, they're dealing with these dead people. Like, yeah, this doesn't look like this. Okay. You have one of them talking about how a state judicial Supreme Court judge, which I believe that was what it was, which would be the equivalent to like a regular circuit court judge in any other state, okay, had the power, the clout to get her sister autopsied. They tried to label her sister as one of these deaths, and it turned out that they didn't take and suction out her saliva because she had Alzheimer's, and when you have Alzheimer's, you forget to fucking swallow, and then you choke. So what does that tell you? I mean, this is ridiculous shit. He literally, he was off by a little bit. And she's trying to be like, well, he was way off. No, he predicted where the fuck we were going to be. So he was off by a little bit. By a small fucking amount. See, you're going to nitpick at that because you're desperate. You people are fucking disgusting. Trying to exploit this situation like you are. People like this bitch. What's her name? Heather? Yes, Heather. Digby fucking whatever. Digby dipshit. This is so sad. From the beginning, Trump's primary goal was to keep his numbers down, but the virus just refuses to cooperate. Oh my God. It would be any person in charge's goal to keep the numbers of infected and dead down. That is a no fucking brainer. If he didn't want to do that, that would make him an ineffective leader. Because he would not care about the people he's supposed to represent. Holy shit. With the willy-nilly reduction or abandonment of mitigation strategies all over the country, we can be pretty sure those numbers aren't going to go down anytime soon. Most experts agree that there will be a spike in new cases in the fall. Even if we lock down through the fall, there would be another fucking spike in cases supposedly. And here's the reason why. They try to say that the sun and all that and the weather and humidity and all that shit doesn't have any factor. But they're literally going by the fact of, by the change of season, okay, when conditions become better for the disease, all right, they're saying it's going to flare up again. Well, no fucking shit. It's going to happen regardless, even if you have everyone locked down till then, which is what people like this fucking bitch want. And the thing is no one wants to talk about Sweden. Sweden didn't lock a fucking thing down. All right? They quarantined the at-risk, like the elderly and the infected. And you know what? Their economy went on. People went out, went shopping, did their shit. People went to, kids went to school. Adults went to college, shit. Their lives went on. And now they don't have any, they didn't have the issues that, say Italy did. They didn't have the issues of high deaths. They didn't have anything like that. And no, they only want to look towards Sweden with their socialist bullshit, even though it's a market economy. All right. But they don't want to look at them when they do something like what they did and they have a positive outcome in comparison to the rest of the world, when their numbers are no different than the rest of the world. It might be better on some levels. And they didn't shut down shit. And the thing is if we had quarantined the sick and the high at risk, we would already be working towards a herd immunity. Now, mind you, the way this mutates, you're not going to be protected from all strains, but as it goes around, and with the fact of the antibody test showing how many people have actually been infected, it would work towards the fact of at least having some protection, because the way it mutates, even if we have a vaccine, not everyone's going to, you're not going to end up with an actual true herd immunity until the majority of the strains that are out there run their course with the majority of people. But if they get infected by, say, one variant of it, odds are is, if it's stronger, the weaker one is going to almost have very little to no impact on them physically. But they don't want to look at those things. I mean, don't get me wrong. If this was like the idea of Black Death and incarnate, I'd be like, yeah, lock this. People should be locking themselves into their fucking homes. I'd be voluntarily locking my shit up, but I shouldn't be compelled to do it because I have common fucking sense. I would lock my shit up. Those people who want to go out and fucking die from it, go right ahead. That's your right. Anyway. But there's another reason for Trump's funk, and it also has to do with his numbers. I'm speaking, of course, about his poll numbers. Numerous reports in the press this week have suggested that Trump has been going ballistic over internal polls, showing that he's losing to Joe Biden, both nationwide and key swing states. You know what's funny is they keep pushing this narrative that he's going to lose to Biden. Now, don't get me wrong. Creepy Uncle Joe, for some fucked up reason, could have a chance. I'm not going to negate that. But Hillary, all the polls showed that he was going to get his ass stomped by Hillary Clinton. All right. You have a large segment of the population that they ignore, that they don't want to include in these types of polls and shit like that. All right. And they're trying to say, well, his internal polls and that he flipped out, and this has been refuted. Okay. The person that they say that he flipped out and lost his shit on said, no, it didn't happen. But, hey, let's ignore him, let's ignore the actual person, whatever. CNN first, okay, of course, it's Communist News Network, first reported that Trump had blown up a campaign manager, Brad Parscale, over the phone, screaming, "I'm not losing to Joe Biden." This prompted Parscale to jump on a plane to D.C. to give the president some personal hand-holding. Having been soothed with some good old-fashioned magical thinking, Trump has now calmed down a little and told Reuters on Wednesday that he just doesn't believe the polls, nor even his own. Now, this is what's funny. He never said that about his own, number one. Number two, anything that comes from CNN needs to be taken with a grain of salt, okay, the size of fucking Mount Everest. And it needs to be thoroughly fact-checked by someone other than fucking Snopes. See, this is what he said. I don't believe the polls. I believe the people of this country are smart. And I don't think they will put a man who's incompetent. See, he didn't say that about his own polls. He said that about the polls that are public. This is how twisted these people are. They take something he's talking about like CNN's polls and all these other polls that would say, oh, well, Biden's got it ahead. The senile fucker. And they try to say, well, that includes his own. Whatever. I'm afraid that that ship has sailed, and it's not going out too well. The strange thing is the polls really aren't much different than they have been all along. I think the real reason he was so upset is that he's always counted on his rallies to serve as a check on the numbers and to feed his ego. This is a person who believes his gut is infallible, and when he stands before his ecstatic, shrieking MAGA crowds, his gut tells him that he is beloved by the American people. With no rallies, he doesn't get that affirmation, and it's bringing him down. Wow. Whoa, we have some armchair psycho fucking analyzing going on here by Heather. Heather, where did you get your fucking psychoanalyze, your degree from for psychology or psychiatry, where you could sit there in your fucking chair and psychoanalyze him, which you're not even, even if you were qualified, you haven't met with him. You haven't had an examination of him. So you couldn't talk out your fucking ass anyways. This is like you projecting and creating this fucking fallacy. Because you people think that he's like you fucking dipshits who make everything about me. That is the biggest projection about the left. Everything has to be about them. This is what's fucked up. They're all about themselves, but yet they want big government, which is the total opposite of having the focus on yourself. Because in order to have the focus on yourself, you have to have liberty and freedom, okay? Because otherwise you become a cog in a fucking machine and it no longer becomes about you. And they don't understand that because it's like, I want, gimme, me. And they don't realize that you don't have that. You might get the crumbs and shit like that, but it's not about you. It's about placating you and keeping you fucking down. Whereas if you're truly about the individual, you'd be, say, for liberty and freedom. But see, these are self-centered, self-interested people. There's a difference. Meanwhile, the campaign is trying to get him to back off the day-to-day focus on task force matters and refocus the campaign on China bashing. He was fucking calling out China from day one. The New York Times reported, oh God, real trustworthy source there, a few days ago that Republicans are convinced that elevating China as an archenemy culpable for the spread of the virus and harnessing America's growing animosity towards Beijing may be the best way to salvage a difficult election. So wait a minute. By basically, you got the Democrats that fucking suck Xi Jinping's dick. All right? That's been a long-standing thing going back to when Bill Clinton was in office. All right, don't get me wrong, the neocons, the rhinos, they sucked a little dick themselves. But the Democrats, they all lined up on their knees as Xi and the rest of the CCP went down the fucking line, sticking their little friggin' egg rolls into these people's mouths, and they more than happily slobbered it and fucking rubbed the knob with their tongue and sucked it up. Okay? They took load after load in their fucking faces for fucking money. All right. And there's this idea that if we start going towards calling out China for their shit and actually standing up to China, all right, it's not going to look good for the left. It's not going to look good for the Democrats because you have a lot of people on the left, beyond the establishment Democrats, that are sucking dick, that like China. Okay, that think China does good things and has raised their people out of poverty and has created a place for these people to flourish in this authoritarian shitbag regime. And they don't want China called out. They don't want people to say fuck no to China. They don't want people to be looking at China and calling them out for what they did. They don't want people to look at China and see them for the evil, sleazy, disgusting regime, okay, that is running that country. And how it wants world fucking domination. Because you know why? These people are either profiting off of, like say with the Democrats who are sucking fucking Chinese dick, CCP dick, they're either profiting or they want what China has implemented. So, China bashing. So literally calling China out for their shit is China bashing. Heather, go fuck yourself, woman. and you don't like that it's calling them out. This is ridiculous. It is a natural go-to for a man whose calling cards are racism and xenophobia. Bullshit! Okay, saying that Mexico isn't a race, you fucking bitch, and saying that they're not sending their best when you have murderers and rapists who are crossing the border, you had fucking people trafficking fucking children as a means to get across, claiming they were fucking parents, until, the Trump administration started actually like enforcing shit and checking and making sure through DNA tests if those kids were actually theirs, and proved a lot of them weren't. Okay, and you want to talk about racism and xenophobia? You fucking ignorant bitch. You have low fucking expectations, all right? And you just want people to flood across the border and collect free fucking shit. That is fucking racist. And this idea of xenophobia, I am sorry, but I live in a fucking nation that has sovereignty and has borders. Excuse me for wanting them to be fucking enforced and to have people come here, okay, legally. All right? I don't care. As long as they want to become an American, and they want the American dream, and they want the American way of life, and they believe the way that we do, okay? I have no problems where the fuck they come from, but as long as they come here legally. Which the people who are crossing the border are coming here for free fucking shit and to exploit the system for the most part. All right? Well, they fucking live on our dime when it comes to health care and fucking food stamps and other fucking shit. Because you have these sanctuary cities that just hand that fucking shit out when it should be going to Americans. You have, in LA, you have Americans living in fucking tent cities, okay, while fucking illegals are living off of the fucking dime of the American taxpayer. And because America should come first and borders should be respected, I'm a racist and a xenophobe? Well, fuck you. That doesn't make me racist or a xenophobe, and that doesn't make Trump a racist or a xenophobe. The problem here is that the administration is using the power of the federal government to help his campaign. How? Bullshit. And you're saying, again, you people are fucking disgusting. You may recall that they had a little impeachment issue a few months back about that very issue. No harm, no foul, apparently. Oh, you mean when he was found not guilty, you bitch? You mean when you had someone who knew someone whose aunts, sisters, cousins, nephews, nieces, friends, brothers, aunts, I'm trying to remember. It was really like 65 degrees of separation. Supposedly heard something that was complete and total fucking bullshit that was debunked, and they tried to impeach him on it? Fuck you. Just a few days after the media reported on his big GOP plan, the White House decided to dust off the Dick Cheney playbook and instruct the intelligence community to find evidence to support the theory that the virus outbreak began in a governmental biodefense lab in the city of Wuhan. Because everything points to that. You have scientists, which none of you people have reported on this, that have gone through the genome of the fucking virus. And it literally has genetic code from HIV and other diseases in it. It got its ability to mutate from the snippet from HIV. The Epic Times reported on this. They did a fucking documentary on YouTube about its genetic manipulation and how it was bio-fucking engineered. You people really want to cover that shit up. And this is what gets me. This is what drives me fucking nuts. You have China, okay, genetically engineering shit like this. And these people, after they let it get out of the lab, somehow it gets loose. And it spreads across the fucking world. You have these people trying to run cover and suck Xi Jinping's fucking Winnie the Pooh's fucking pudgy little fucking fucking Tootsie Roll little fucking dick. And cover for him in the CCP. It's disgusting. On Thursday, they reported back, and it wasn't good for Trump. They found no evidence that the virus was anything but naturally occurring. Of course, Trump wasn't impressed. So basically, some deep state shitbags in the intelligence agencies go, oh, nothing to see here. All right. When you have people in the fucking public, in the wild, okay, scientists who've gone through the fucking genome that have proven that it was genetically fucking engineered, okay, being ignored. You are a fucking disgusting person, Heather. You really are a disgusting person. So, what's making you more happy? Bashing Trump with this, or the fact that you're sucking Xi Jinping's pathetic little dick? Which you more happy about? Inquiring minds want to know. On Thursday, they reported back that it wasn't good news for Trump. They found no evidence that the virus was anything but naturally occurring. I'm sorry, I already read that, but it's just disgusting that naturally occurring. Okay, yeah. Not just any DNI. His handpicked servile henchman, Richard Grenell. Okay, yeah. John Roberts, the director of national intelligence, puts out a statement saying they think the coronavirus was naturally occurring. That's not proof or confirmation, right? Not when you have the public sentiment. I mean, this is ridiculous. Trump answered the follow-up question about whether he had seen any evidence that the virus came from a lab by saying, yes, I have, but claiming he wasn't allowed to say where he got the information. Since he didn't get it from actual intelligence sources, it likely came from his team of medical and China experts, meaning Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham. No, that doesn't mean that, number one. Number two, when you have scientists coming out that have studied it, that have looked at it, that you literally have, okay, someone from one of those labs where they were going with it, saying that he got pissed on and bit by a bat or whatever it was. Yeah, the possibility's there. They could have came from that lab too. You people are so dishonest. Apparently, Trump wants people to believe that the Chinese may have created or released a deadly virus in order to destroy his chances of re-election. No, that's not what he's trying to do, number one. Number two, it got out of China because they covered it up. So regardless of the whole fucking bullshit that you're trying to push here, it's China's fault. China asshole. I mean, that's the meme going on right now. He told Reuters, China will do anything they can to have me lose this race. As always, it's all about him. No, he's saying that China doesn't want him to win right now because he's tough on China. China got fucked by his tariffs. They had to fucking come back. The thing is you people try to say, oh no, it's going to fuck the U.S. The U.S. was stronger because the U.S. was the one who had the power in the arrangement. But see, we were bending over and cucking because China, if they ain't selling goods to us, they're fucked. You people are idiots. You don't understand simple fucking economics or anything like that. And you just push the fucking bullshit that you can. Anything that'll try to bash Trump. And I'm getting sick of defending the fucking guy. I like him. I got nothing against him. But I'm constantly defending him from you idiots' fucking bullshit. But that's not all. Regardless of the truth of the matter, Trump is forging ahead with his plans to attack and punish China. As Dan Fruchtman of Salon and Press Watch reported on Thursday evening, the New York Times reports that Trump administration is discussing stripping China of a sovereign immunity, which would hypothetically allow the U.S. or its citizens to sue the Chinese government, Trump's favorite retaliatory gambit. People should be able to sue China, you stupid bitch. They're the ones who released this on the fucking world. Intentionally or unintentionally, it is their fucking fault. They have a responsibility, okay, to deal with the damages, both financially and on other levels. So fuck you. According to the Times, legal experts say an attempt to limit China's sovereign immunity would be extremely difficult to accomplish and may require congressional legislation. Whatever. Yeah, right. He could fucking... It probably would, but you know what? Deal with it. I'm sure a lot of fucking Democrats are going to have to side with that. So fucking deal with it. If it has to be done through legislation. People are so pissed at China right now that it's only the far lefties that are like saying racist, racist, racist. Well, most of Americans are going, yeah, this came from fucking China. They owe us. They fucked us. So they're going to have to, if they want to keep their seats in Congress, fucking go along with it. They don't have a choice. Unidentified White House officials have also reportedly discussed having the U.S. cancel its debt obligations to China, which would be fucking fair. They cost us billions of fucking dollars, and let's cancel our fucking debt. Fair enough. Fuck China. They caused this shit. See, here, this bitch is defending that China should get money, that our debt to China, that they've engineered in their favor, mind you, okay, with the help of neocons and Democrats, so that they would gain more control over our economy. The economy that they damaged substantially. All right. They're like, oh no, canceling that debt would be bad. They owe us fucking shit tons of money, bitch, for what happened. Get a clue. We're just going to eat that cost? Fuck you. We ain't calling me fucking China. We're a capitalist fucking nation. And if they fucked us out of money, we want our money. I think that's pretty clear. That's entirely absurd. Jonathan Chait at New York Magazine points out, the blowback would be enormous, as other potential buyers of treasury bills would be demanding higher interest rates forever. Talk about the cure being worse than the disease. No, you know what's funny? Canceling that debt with China would make the economy better. It would improve our economic situation because all of that debt would be fucking wiped out. It would be gone. That would mean if we could open up the fucking economy and did something like that, we would actually do well for ourselves, which would make the treasury bills worth more. Holy shit. If we had a healthier economy because of less debt, treasury bills are going to be worth more. That's common sense. And most people are going to go, fuck China. Go, fuck China. The asshole. They would. But none of this will actually happen. As Chait astutely observes, this is modeled on Trump's famous promise that Mexico would pay the wall. This time, China will pay for the Wu flu. It is a campaign strategy, not a policy. With Trump, that's all there is. No. He actually said he was going to shut this illegal fucking crossing the border bullshit down. And if you look, the numbers are way fucking down because of the fact of what he's done. All right, you have Mexico actually stopping people at their southern border. Now, as opposed to, hey, come on in, come across the border, or you're going to the U.S., oh, no problem. Just keep on rolling, eh? Keep on walking. No problem. I don't need to see no papers. You don't need no stinking papers. Now they're going, hey, you, where are your papers, eh? You going to the U.S.? Sorry, we can't let you in. He's actually done a lot against all odds. I'm not giving him super amounts of credit, but he's accomplished something because he's had a lot of resistance. For what he's accomplished, he does deserve what credit for it. But I'm not, like at his feet going, oh, Trump, you're the best. I mean, I've criticized him for shit too. I mean, he's going all the previous administration with like having, the needed materials like masks and shit like that, and respirators, the stockpile, protective gear and respirators and stuff like that being low. Obama fucked us on that. And when he came into office, he should have saw the numbers were low and went, you know what? We really need to build this back up. And I'm talking with people, all right, people who think that I'm a blind Trump supporter. I've called them out and they're like, oh, you fucking hate Trump now? No, I just know when to call him out when he's fucked up. All right. And people who are like, all uber Trump supporters. All right. I've heard, what do you know against Trump? I'm like, no, I'm calling him out for a fuck up that he deserves some blame for. But these people on the extreme ends, the anti-Trumpers and the diehard fucking supporters, which I'm a very strong supporter of him, but I can at least call him out on his shit. But the ones who will be like, oh, and just defend him over everything. All right. Everyone's just getting so fucking combative. This is ridiculous. Anyway, it's just one more sign that an empire in decline goes slowly at first and then all at once. And when a declining empire takes on a rising superpower, history suggests it won't go well for the former. Now, this is what's fucked up. Our country becoming a declining fucking thing or in a state of decline is because of the left and the Democrats selling this fucking country to China. That's why, in large part, they're rising and we're going down, okay? Because we've become financially dependent on China. Because Bill Clinton fucking gave them favorable nation status and allowed fucking manufacturing to be shipped way fuck over there in en masse. All right? The Democrats fucking took fucking CCP money to sell this fucking country out alongside the neocon rhino fucking shitbags. That's why we're in the state we're in. That's why China's on the rise. That's why we're in the situation we're in on a global scale with what's going on in China's raw aspirations, the aspirations it has now with like Belt and Road and everything else. All right, that was helped to be, that was assist then they're facilitating it. The U.S. helped them do it. These politicians back in the 90s and up to present that have been in bed with them. And they want the U.S. to decline. This bitch wants the U.S. to go into decline. This bitch wants the U.S. to fucking fail because they think that they can pick up the fucking pieces and push a little leftist fucking utopia in this fucking shit. That's not how it's going to work, because I'll tell you right now, this nation goes into decline. You're going to see more and more unrest, and you will see a fucking civil war, because you will see the people that don't want to see this nation continuing to decline that's being manufactured, and will stand up to it. It will happen. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.